Welcome. My name is Maurice Ruff, and I'd like to welcome you to Straight Talk Recovery. I'd like to thank you guys for supporting me in this journey. I talked to you last week, just to tell you I'm back. And right now, I'd like to talk about explaining what had happened, how God has been in my life, and how He has blessed me in so many ways, giving me opportunities to show others His grace, His mercy upon us when we surrender to Him, doing His will. Um, Back in May, um, I told myself I wanted to go down to Grand Rapids and visit my mom. And during that trip, mentally, my mind, my addiction, um, had me go a whole nother direction. And I had relapsed in May. I picked up using and stayed away for like 30 days. And in them 30 days, I never went to visit my mom. That's what addiction does. Addiction has you doing the things that you choose not to do, the things that you don't want to do. And in that process, I realized in that period, I realized I didn't want this life anymore. I wanted the life that I was living. You know what I'm saying? Coming into recovery, understanding how life has changed for me after 40 plus years of using drugs. Here it is. I had a chance to change my life, and I was about to just give it back, go back to the same old thing. So I chose to go back to treatment center. And so this is in June. So I stayed out 30 days. So in June, I go back to the treatment center, and then they was telling me, uh, doing assessments that 30 days would be good. You just go back 30 days, regroup, and go back to it. So I felt in my heart that 30 days wasn't enough because I missed something while I was in treatment. So I stayed 90. And in those 90 days, I did a real strong inventory, just looking at the inner me, why I chose to go back to something that I know that it has nothing to do with good living. Picking up using drugs is just nothing but a downward spiral. And just doing the inventory on myself. And so in that process of me in treatment center, I just looked at my thinking, my behavioral, how I treated others in my addiction. And everything I did in my addiction, I worked on that, not to do it, you know. Um, so about 3 weeks before I left, it was completing the treatment center. A young lady came to me. I ain't gonna say a young lady, a older lady came up to me in church in service called the Bridge, and she said, "Sir, come here." She said, "God told me, don't worry, He got this." And so I never said anything. And I'm gonna say this: I had violated my probation in the process of me relapsing. And so, in the time of me being in treatment, I was trying to reconcile the violation. Like, hey, I fucked up. Here I am. I'm in treatment. I'm trying to rectify this situation. Well, during those 90 days, no avail. Probation officer just insisted on that I turn myself in. Um, and I had to look at me, you know, um, my past made this occur. Um, Me running from my problems. So I didn't know how to really handle it at the time. But then it just came to me and said, hey, whatever happens, happens. So going back to where this lady had said this to me, and I gave it to God. I prayed and I gave it to God, said, hey, whatever it is, you want me to do, I'll do it. Now, knowingly, I'm looking at 1 to 4 years of my case that I had. Um, and I trust God. I have faith in God. So I try not to think about it because if I stick my hand in it, it goes astray. It's just goes, it's my addiction. So I gave it to God. And at the end of my stay, I made sure I had my housing together back up here in Boyne City. Um, got my old job back at the Red Mesa. So worked about 2 weeks, and then it was that time to make that decision. Okay, kind of wanted to just take off. That's what I do, run from my problems. Um, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna go face this. You know, and and it just kept coming back to me what this lady said. God told me to tell you, He got this. So me trusting in God wholeheartedly, but I have to understand my behavior also has to take responsibilities, repercussions of what I do. God don't take you out the fire; He takes you through the fire to refine you to make you a better person. So I came down. What was it? October the 1st. Went down and I went into the courtroom on the 2nd and talked to the judge secretary and said, hey, here I am. I've been trying to contact you. I wrote a few letters to the judge explaining where I was at. And she said, Mr. Ruffin, why don't you go home? I'll contact you. I'll see what we can do without incarcerating you, locking you up. So went home and waited all day. Somehow I missed the phone call. So when I listened to the voicemail, she said, your probation officer said you must turn yourself in. Okay. Now, here come my addiction. It's fucking with me. It's telling me, hey, we can go get high, we can run, we can do this and do that, and then you go turn yourself in. Who gonna know? You know. Well, for one, I would know. Secondly, gotta know, and whoever I purchase would know. So I asked my sister, take me to turn myself in. I went later that day, Thursday. Um, so she dropped me off at the county jail. I went up to the door and rang the bell. Now here it is. Now I'm asking them, hey, I surrender, lock me up. Um, and the funniest thing about it, when I rang the doorbell, they didn't answer. So here come my addiction. You can call somebody, they can pick you up. We can go get high and come on back. Who will know? Okay. Now, once again, I would know, God would know, and the person I purchased from would know. So I walked away from that door and I had a cigarette. And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? If I use, I don't know what I'm be interfering with God's will. So I turned around and soon I touched that door, brother. Guy said, what is it? So I told him I was surrendering, turning myself in. So I went in there and had to wait a couple days before I had a court date. And so when I seen the judge, week about 6 days later, they gave me a 30-day sentencing and revoked my probation, which if I would have picked up, ain't no telling what would have happened or how the outcome would have came. Um, and I'm done with probation. So this is what I asked the judge, can I get my probation revoked? Well, God gave me exactly what I wanted. And he also wanted me to go into that county jail clean and sober and show people and be able to speak to them about being in recovery, about changing their life around, giving yourself an opportunity to live a better life. So in that process, it was a job offered to me. I accepted the job, which I've posted. Now I'm working at a facility. Love my job. I'm learning it, and I am willing to learn. You know, um, I'm learnable. I'm teachable today. Um, and I can just say this for those who out there that's in recovery or even struggling, relapse, if it's even any doubt in your mind, the beatings will continue. Nothing changes in that cycle. Um, I'm not down on anybody who chooses. I'm not acting like I'm better than anyone because I'm just a hand out away. Um, but I would like to help others that is struggling. You know, um, in this, and that's what Straight Talk is about. Trying to be a voice, and showing my journey. Even I struggle, at times, um, and trying to just help others. Man, this is real serious out there about this addiction, and it just ain't always substance. Because addiction goes far. It's porno, it's the phone, it's drink and alcoholism. Um, some people have like to steal. Some people just argumentative. It's just addictions is just broadly, and it has effect on our lives that we don't even pay attention to. Some of the smallest things. One thing I learned about AA, which I am a substance as far as narcotics usage, the steps helped me recognize my defective character. It made me realize who I was and how fucked up I am in my addiction, how I behave. And I thank the steps for that. It makes me a better person. It makes me constantly work on myself when things I feel that I'm not doing the right thing or toward someone. I feel that, and that's God's spirit, and trust in God. I can't say a religion because I'm not. I'm a spiritual person. I truly believe in the spirit of God that it works in the universe, and we all works with it if we give Him a chance to work, in our lives. So, but I'd like to thank you guys out there for supporting me and walking with me in my journey. It's not an easy journey, but it's a good journey. A lot of things are happening in my life today. Um, but I will be doing a lot of things. I'm finna start trying to get some t-shirts called Recovery After Dark, RAD. Um, gonna try to reach out to some people back home to come up and do some speaker meeting talks, different geographic areas. Will show how people lived and their struggle and how they doing today. It's wonderful to hear that. It helps people see the growth. It's possible to recover from alcoholism or narcotics or whatever it may be that they have. So stay tuned. I love you guys and thank you.